Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this week's FitPro Social. On this week's episode, we've invited Huw on to talk a little bit about transitioning from face-to-face PT and running a gym and a studio to transitioning fully online. And to make things even easier, the best example of this is Huw is literally in Spain. Huw, welcome. Where are you? Are you in Spain?
I'm in Spain. We're down in just outside Torremolinos. Yes, and it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Well, it's raining back here in Wales.
Good,
so,
good.
About the same here as well. In the middle of England, Nottingham, just chucking it down.
Cool. So we've obviously met before. We've done a few things together. We've done a few episodes before, and we've met up and done a few videos and stuff. But for Ash, maybe who doesn't know you, or I'm not sure Ash knows you, or maybe everybody else that's listening and watching, tell us a little bit more about you and your journey to becoming a FitPro. First of all, the gym, let's say the gym that you had at the bottom of your garden, and to where you are now in Spain.
Okay, very long story short, cut it to 30 seconds. I worked for 30 years in the corporate world, Royal Mail, but I was always interested in fitness, always wanted a home gym. So fell into being a PT again. I used to do it in 1995 in London, fell into it by pure accident, and it just went a little bit crazy. Built the gym in my garden, which I've still got. I still do a small element of PT there, really minimal and exclusive, and I don't apologize, it's high-end cost-wise, but spend most of my time in our apartment in Spain because I'll just love it down here, and that was my real driver to go transition online. And that's it, that's the story.
Let's just go home now. We're all done. That's the story. I mean, it'd be cool just to go back to you mentioned there you fell into PT and by accident from the Royal Method, which I find really interesting because I kind of fell into what I'm doing now by accident.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'd be interesting to hear a bit more about how this happy accident happened.
It was a hell of a thing. A mate of mine, his daughter was trying to get into the police and she kept failing the fitness test. So he said, look, will you do me a favor and help her just pass the test so she can get into the... So I said, yeah, I don't mind, of course. So we did that and she got in. And then within 3 weeks, she said, I've got a friend who needs help. And 1 became 2, and 2 became 4, and 4 became 8. Within 3 weeks, I was doing it part-time. And this is a true story. In my basement with a set of power block dumbbells and a scruffy old bench, no floor, it was a mud floor. And the head height on my basement was literally, I'm only sort of 5'9", 10, whatever it is, was there, you know. And within 3 weeks, I was doing it part-time, and it was crazy. And within sort of 2 years later, I was still doing it, and I was coming up to 50 years old. I was earning a lot of money, good money in Royal Mail, the job I was doing, and I walked. I left after 30 years.
What made you decide to go? Was it just like I'm off, or what was it?
It was like, well, this part-time thing isn't going away, and I didn't mind leaving the job, and I didn't mind making a complete mess of the PT thing, but I did not want to get to 55, which I'm coming up to now, and then think, I wonder what would have happened or what could have happened if I'd done it at 50. That was my only worry. Everything else, quite chilled about life. Everything else, I didn't mind falling flat on my face. I didn't mind making a complete hash of it, because we'll always earn money. We'll always put food on the table somehow. But I didn't want that regret. I didn't want that regret of what if. So I thought, it's been going for about 3 years part-time. So there was no signals that it was slowing down. So I thought, right, let's do it. Build a gym, which is changed again, Dave, since you were there last. It's completely different. It's a small posh shared studio at the bottom of my garden, but it's air conditioned, it's got toilets, it's got everything, it's got all primal strength kit, it's got 50-kilogram dumbbells, leg press, Smith machine, it's got everything you need. I've got a cardio room now as well with stair climber, ski erg and stuff. So, and we took it from there, and that is the story. That is it.
So without digging too personally into your financials, you'll have a lot of people listening to this and be like, oh, I just can't make that leap from full-time employment to just over part-time and hope for the best. Did you have finances behind you to kind of ease that transition to leave Royal Mail and become a full-time FitPro? Or was it just a case of, like you said, I will find money, I'm confident that no matter what I will make this a success?
Yeah, there's an element of both in that, Dave, to be fair. I mean, my kids are 26 and 24. So at the time they were just coming up to sort of 20. The youngest he wasn't going to go to university. So my financial pressures, they were sort of out of my hair, excuse the pun, a little bit financially. They both still live at home. So financially, I was in a spot to be able to do it, because I'm never going to sit here and tell anybody, just do it, crack on, it's easy, because it's not. It's not. I was in a position, like I say, I was coming up to 50. Financially, I was okay. My kids were sort of on the transition out, although 5 years later, they're still there. But yeah, I wasn't under the financial pressure of a 25-year-old, 30-year-old, whatever, to sort of throw in a career. But it's still a brave move, because obviously I won't say what I was earning, but my salary was good, was very good, very good. So
that's one thing.
My background.
Yeah, I tell you, it's really interesting me this, because I speak to a lot of personal trainers who make transitions normally between in-person and online, but the principle about making a jump between one to the other, most of them are ready, they're around sort of like in the 30s, most of them. What I find really interesting here, you describe how you had children who are in the 20s, so like, they're not going to uni, so there's not much financial pressure there. They're at the point where they're going to go off and get jobs, leave home. So that kind of part of your life is settling down. Financially, got a great job. You must be comfortable, like very, very comfortable. And most people I know, when they get into towards like, the 50s at least, they're thinking, I want to try and think what we're going to do for retirement now, what we're going to do in the future. Like retirement's 15, 20 years away. People start thinking about it more. And you've just kind of I've gone from really comfortable, I don't need to do anything else, to shit, I'm just going to drop everything and just go all in at this. Like what happened up here? That's what I want to know. What's that change it went from that decision? It's just to a lot of people, that's a strange decision to make.
Yeah. Everybody's circumstances are different. I was earning good money. Again, it's not a brag. I was earning good money by doing a job that was easy, because I've been doing it for so long. It wasn't an easy job. In fact, it took them years to cover it after I finished, but it's because of the pressure, but because of my age, because of my experience, I could do it easily, and there was no stimulation. And of course, the retirement age at the time was going up to sort of 67. And I thought, I cannot just sit here earning this good money and whatever for 17 years. I cannot just sit here and do this. And with regards to the pensions, I'll get, as long as you don't mind me being open and honest here, my parents died very young. My mother was very young, 32. So from a very, very early age, pensions mean absolutely nothing to me. I know it's not everyone's thought process, and even my wife and my kids and my in-laws they've always been talking to me about pension. And I tell my two, I am not interested. I'm not interested. My father was 60 when he passed away. So, my view is shaped by my past, but what's this pension people are talking about? None of my parents got to enjoy any of it. So I definitely lived in the now. It's now or never. And I've done that since very, very early on. So again, I guess my decision to leave has always been the way I've lived anyway. I took jobs in Royal Mail that, people, why are you going for that job, and why are you taking that pressure on? Because it was right for me then, without too much thought for the future, if that answers the question. Ash?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So let's move back to you just decided to make that leap, and you were kind of working out of this kind of, what do you, sellers, what you called it. Yeah. You'll have loads of people who are training people, especially one-to-one, maybe in their garage and all that stuff. What was it that had to fall in place for you to be able to open this I don't really want to call it a shed, this studio
Yeah.
that I have, because I've seen it, like you say, you've got all this high-end kit.
Yeah.
What had to fall in place to enable you to move to that stage?
I think I've always I think I was doing it for about 3 years, like I said, with no let up. I know, and as soon as some people left, new people came in. But I always believed as well, even when I was working, in getting people to fall in love with the process, not the result. You know, I used to argue with directors all the time, but what's your KPIs? I think we had at the time, we had 22 KPIs. And I used to say to directors, they come down, well, you tell me which one is the KPI of today. Do you know, you can't have two. So I used to, when I was training people, and I still to this day, if I'm with somebody and I occasionally go to a commercial gym, and if you two were in there now, I would not talk to you. I would not even make eye contact with you. I'm with that person, do you know? And it's treating people to an extent that they just feel, wow, you know? And it got to a stage where somebody was leaving, I was upping my prices, and I was charging money to train in my basement. Honestly, you know, when I look back, I'm thinking, but I always wanted a home gym. So my rationale was I'd already put the footings in for my gym before I built the house, which I remember telling you at the time, Dave. I didn't tell my wife that. I thought, I'm not usually that sharp, but I thought, right, when I build a house, I can't get the machines down the bottom of that garden. So I'll put the footings in now. But that was never for the business. That was just because I wanted a home gym, always wanted a home gym. So it got to a stage where I was never taking any money out of what I was earning. I was putting it all back into buying a bit more kit. And a quick story, I tell a story now when people say about my pricing being expensive. When I was building the gym, my father-in-law said to me, how much is that going to cost down there then? And I knew exactly what he was on about straight away. And I said, it's probably going to be about £10,000 till I build it and sort of kit it out to the standard I want. And he said, I'll pay for that, my father-in-law. And I said, no, because I wanted to be invested in it. I wanted to make it work. And I tell this when people say, oh my God, you're expensive. Yeah, I'm expensive because I've been doing this now for 9 years coming up, you know, which suggests something, because I'm invested in it. You know, if he'd paid for that, I'd have had a lovely home gym, £10,000 richer. But really, would I be here now? I don't think so.
This is an interesting topic, because me and Ash will speak to a load of FitPros and they'd be like, oh yeah, I know this person whose dad bought him the gym. And you know what I mean, somebody's given them the money compared to you having to do it yourself. So I think for my example, and I'm not sure about Ash's setup, but I had to go to Santander to get the big credit card and the loans and everything to open FitHub 30. That was all done on minimal kit and everything.
Yeah.
And as we grew, we could add to it. Yeah, but then I know somebody whose dad gave him a check for 50k to start his fitness business off. Do you really think that because you had to work for it, you would cherish it more, you worked harder, you believe in it more compared to somebody who's just been given it?
100%. I tell everybody that I coach now, you know, I can give you everything. I can give you absolutely everything, but you have to do the work. You know, you have to buy into doing the work. You know, I don't hold people's hands. It's the same principle. If I accepted that 10 grand, that's like a golden, well done. And lovely gesture, an amazing gesture. He's an amazing man. But again, if I treated clients like that as well, where it's all fluffy and lovely and, you know, they're not invested in. And if my rates were half of what they are, you know, I've done stuff for free, guys. We all have, I guess we all have. You know, I've given raffle prizes away, big prizes worth a lot of money. You know, did one for Christmas, give a local lady for her charity walking group, give her a 12-week, my full program, give somebody access to it. It never works. Not invested in it. It's never worked to this day, and I'll never do. I give all my stuff for free on Facebook and everything. All my information is free, but I'll never give my time like that again for free, because it just doesn't work. You have to be invested in it, whether it's financially, emotionally, whatever it is. There has to be a deeper reason. And again, part of my process is when people say I want to lose a bit of weight, losing weight is never ever Never ever the reason. That may be the surface reason, but when we get under it, there's something much deeper. It's never the reason. It's never strong enough. So a big deep desire somewhere, whatever yours is, financially, whatever, it has to come from deep.
Hey, it's going to pause it there for literally 2 seconds. If you're loving this week's episode, please let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. The more people we can get subscribing, the bigger guests we can get, and the more people we can help with the content being shared. Anyway, let's dive back into today's episode.
Would you say then the decision to do what you're doing was more of a deep desire, and especially with what you're doing now? So obviously you're sat in Spain at the moment. You made the transition from the studio. You've invested at the end of your garden, and now you're doing online, and you're sat in Spain in the sun, making me and Dave really jealous because we're cold and wet in the UK. Was that to do with more of a deeper goal that you had, like you do with your clients?
I think, again, I'm a bit of an amateur psychologist. I think most good PTs are, I'm a massive. I wish I could go and do some qualification in human behavior. I think it's fascinating. I think I've analyzed myself to death. I think mine come from the fact that, my mother was 32 when she passed away. And I've always had this big desire to be healthy. And I've dipped in and out, don't get me wrong. And I used to drink and all the rest of it, but to help people. So to be healthy and to help people are my two big things. Even when I was working and I was, being the big bad boss, my underlying things always to help people, always to help the underdog, always to help people that are willing to help themselves. Because I never, I don't cuddle people, because I don't think that works either. Nice little cuddle, and I don't think that works. So people have
to be kind sometimes, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it's a deep desire to, and I'll be honest with you, I'm 55 coming up. I've got a show now in a couple of weeks, and I love proving that at any age we can do stuff. And as part of my market is this sort of age where people, I'm 40 now. No, you're out of shape because you stopped doing the stuff. And I just want to show people that you can do stuff. It doesn't have to be a bodybuilding show. It doesn't have to be anything, but you can do something, And so
if we look at the deep desire, then you had that desire to set up your studio, and then you've had this desire to move more online. At what point did that desire change from coaching people in person to coaching people online? Was it something like you can go away to Spain? Was that the desire, or in a non-bad, you got bored of coaching people face to face and you wanted to enjoy life more? Because there'd be lots of people listening to this, watching this further down the line, who are like, I'd love to go online, but maybe they're thinking online for the wrong reasons. But again, we've talked about desires quite a lot. What was the catalyst? What was the reason that shifted you from in person to online?
Couple of things. I never got bored of training, because my sessions are 30-minute sessions, and they have been for a long time. And I did a maximum of 20 sessions a week when I was doing PT. So that's 10 hours. And I capped it at that. I could have done 30 plus, and then it would have been a complete chore, a complete job. So I still love coaching in person. And when I'm home, I have a small select. I've got 5 people now that come to the gym. So I do enjoy that. But I've been coming to Spain for a while. We've got the apartment here. And I just genuinely love it down here. I absolutely love it down here. I love the sunshine. I love the sunshine as much as I love Wales. And I do, certain parts of Wales, Dave, bit further west than you, I'm afraid. But no, I love Wales, but I just genuinely love it down here. But online is not for everybody. It's a solitary, lonely world. I'm very happy in my own world. I'm here on my own now. For reasons I won't go into. My family have gone home because we had to cross over through different things, family stuff. So I'm here but it's a lonely world. It can be, I'm lucky I've got a small team now. There's 4 of us now. Big shout out to the girls back home keeping everything going, but I'm doing the coaching from here. But it was that desire to I've done my time, Dave, sort of thing. I've earned my stripes. You know, I've worked for 30 years, you know. My pride was always my sickness record, was always my pride, you know, and I wanted to enjoy. I still like working hard, I still work longer hours than probably should do. I still, you know, answer messages 9 o'clock at night, all the stuff you do when you're self-employed, you know, guys. But I don't do anything I don't like. No, I don't do anything. I'm just building a life without it sounding fluffy. But bear in mind, you know, I'm in a 30-odd-year apprenticeship to get to this. People jump online and think, right, where's my laptop? Let's pack it up and head to Burleigh. It just isn't. It's hard. It's hard world. It's hard. If you're not willing to work, it's like building a body, whatever. You've got to do the work. I keep saying it. You've got to do whatever it is. You've got to do the work. Got to do the work.
I tell you what I find really interesting about. I'd love to know your opinion on this. Like, I speak to obviously a lot of people who go online, and exactly the same thing you said there. A lot of people believe grab a laptop, sit on a beach, tap away, and that's all it is. In my experience, anyway, and from working with quite a few people, I find online harder than in person. I find it much more difficult to get the stuff in place for an online business than what I did for the studio. Did you have a similar experience like yourself, or would you agree with that or disagree with that?
I say I was quite lucky, but prepared to put the work in, you know, to get clients. And I still think referrals is the biggest thing you can have in your arsenal, if you like. So I still, most of mine, I won't put a number on it, I don't know what it is referrals. But I'm still willing to do the work, still willing to get knocked back, still willing to post 3 or 4 times a day. You know, we put stuff out literally 3 or 4 times a day, and we have done for years. You've got to do the work to build up the trust. You know, and I model everything I've done on PTs that I've had in the past, where the service has been, quite frankly, shocking. You know, and it's about, if you over deliver, focusing on the product and the person rather than business. It's a bit of a different way of looking at it. My belief is, if I service that client to the hilt, then that client will become 2. Whereas if I chase the other ones, I take my eye off the ones I've got, then that becomes a model where I'm chasing business rather than chasing the results, which will deliver the business. Same as when I was working KPIs. Directors could come and ask me, what's a year-on-year cost reduction? I haven't got a clue. But I can get Joe Blogs. What I'm good at is getting Joe Blogs to do X, Y, and Z, which will drive that number. You know, so focusing on people, just focusing on delivering a great product. You know, and then but being consistent as well. It's like doing the reps, guys, doing the work.
Yeah.
It all comes down to doing the work.
Deliver a great product consistently, and then you'll grow, I guess.
Absolutely. And every time someone's left or come to the end of the program, you know, we all have this sort of, oh my God, what's next? And it's a great opportunity to bring new people in, fresh people in. You know, your pricing structure can change along with your service. You've got to deliver. Like I said, I've got a great team now. Shout out to Shirley, Beth, and Fran back home, because getting staff is it's the biggest headache of all.
Tell me about it.
You guys are laughing. Absolutely. But looking for a PT, Dave, when we had a conversation, God knows how many years ago, still looking. And I'm not super choosy. It's like, all I want is energy and that ability to, can I feel it? Can I feel that vibe? But, you know, when you start talking about working split shifts and weekends and the messaging and all the content, oh my God, I thought, well, that's not what I want to do. That's not what I want to, you know, it's hard work. It's hard work. Everything's hard work. Life's hard work. One of my favorite quotes, I've got into somebody called Alex Hormozy. I don't know if you listen to him, you know, you either do or you don't, but, you know, this is what hard work feels like. And it's just stuck with me to absolutely ingrained. This is what hard work feels like. This is the norm. This is what you got to do. Mm-hmm. So what you got to do.
Hard worker. I mean, he hasn't shut up about this event that he's running tomorrow. That's all he ever talks about. He's got his, I'm sure he's got his big book launch, hasn't he, tomorrow? Big live event.
$100 million leads. That one is it? That
leads. Yeah, I'm sure that's tomorrow, isn't it? Some 19th, I think it is. from there. I mean, was there a point in, you mentioned there about your team, you shout out some of your team there. At what point did that happen? Did you have a team when you was working in the studio, or was that more to do with you when you start to go to the online side of things?
No, when I started to go online, you know, when I was working, I keep saying about when I was working before, I always have somebody on the floor that was great at doing spreadsheets and, you know, doing all that stuff that I hate. I hate doing any admin tasks. It does nothing for me. So I thought, in order to grow, I've got to get some help in to take all that stuff away, because I'm a big believer in not working on your weaknesses. People say you've got to work on your weaknesses. I've never subscribed to that. I always work with your strengths. You know, my strengths. Why do I need to produce a spreadsheet? Never. Doesn't interest me. Never going to need it. So I thought, if I can pay somebody to buy back my time to do all of that stuff, all the video editing, I could shoot 20 videos a day, but don't ask me to edit them, because it just doesn't do my thing, you know. So all I've been doing is buying back time bit by bit to allow me to go and do the stuff that I want to do, and the stuff that I'm good at, which is easy to do. Whether it's any good is a different story, but it's easy for me to do, to buy me back the time to help grow the business that way. Yeah.
Hey, just going to pause it there really quickly. If you know any guests that would love to feature, or if you yourself would like to feature on one of these episodes, do let us know by reaching out or letting us know in the comments. Anyway, let's get back into the episode. So you've got me, might be the perfect example. I'm sat here in Wales. The studio was going okay, but it's pouring down with rain, and I just love the opportunity to live in Spain where it's warm every day and help people change their lives and stuff. But I can go into the gym and I can work them hard. I can sit down with them, go over their nutrition. I can hold them accountable, because I get to see them once or twice, maybe 4 times a week, to make sure they're getting their results. But I'm thinking, if I go online, like, how can I know that they're definitely going to do the work? How can I convince somebody to buy my program when they're not going to see me face to face? There's not actual physical sessions. How do you kind of get around that mindset yourself, and how are you still being able to achieve results online to show people, well, to get them results?
Yeah, it is a tough one, and you've got to believe in your product for a start. You have to believe 100% in what you're doing, because I believe that the traditional model of PT is from what, again, purely from experience of what I see over the years, is dead. People, PTs or clients, meet up twice a week for an hour. And by the way, if you train with a PT for an hour, that PT is making it up. That PT is making it up. After 35 minutes, they are making it up. Right. And again, at my age and experience, I can go out to some of the PTs I know and go, what happens after 30 minutes? And what do you do? Well, you know, or they start putting them on treadmills for the first 15 minutes and start talking about Love Island, walk alongside them. So somebody's paying me to stand alongside them. You know, they're making it up. And again, I used to sell it to people. I'm charging more because you're only in the gym for half an hour. But that half an hour has got to be earned. So I'm giving you time back. So I not twisted it, but I turned it around, saying, look, you know, I work with busy people, boardroom people who desperate to get in shape. I don't want to go to the gym for hours. Guess what? I train for less than 2 hours a week. And when I tell people that, they, what? Yes, you know. So, but I've got a success coach, which I was doing myself. So we have touch points. I have different pricing structures. I have a bronze, silver, and the platinum is my in-person stuff. So we have different touch points with our clients. So we speak to them every single day, and we scrutinize their accounts every day. I use software, obviously, where I can go in and track to the point of, you know, if somebody's doing 12 reps for, you know, 10 kilos for 12 reps, 8 kilos for 12. If it's all lovely and fluffy, right, you ain't working hard enough. Nobody does 12 reps on everything. You know, with my training philosophy is, you know, it's one set. Everything else is a little starter, a little hors d'oeuvre to the one set. That's the one that counts. Don't worry about it. I don't care how many reps. One of my strap lines, guys, is I wouldn't swear on you, but it's like, I don't care how many reps. I don't care how many sets. I don't care. The one set is the one that counts, and I expect to see 10 kilos for 7 or 9 or 13, not 10, 12, 8. So we challenging people every single day. you know, and I'm challenging them to put videos up to me, you know, to challenge me as well. So basically we're in touch with them every single day. Whereas the old PT model, which is what I modeled my PT service on, is turn up at the gym twice a week, and clients think that's all there is to it. Well, I'm having a PT. I'm paying all this money to go and see a PT. When in reality, that PT doesn't do anything else outside of the gym. It's just that hour-long made-up session. Sorry for you PTs training people for an hour, but you're making it up. Nobody can train hard for an hour. Warren Gatland, Wales coach again. Sorry, Ash.
It's all about the Welsh, isn't it, today?
I read his book, and it just resonated when he took over Wales the first time. There was 2 and 3 hour training sessions, 3-hour meetings. And I just loved it, resonated with what he was saying. Human body, human mind cannot concentrate for more than 40 minutes. He said, I took the training sessions down to 45 minutes, and they were brutal. Meetings would be 15 minutes. And I used to do meetings back in the day in work. I used to set my timer on my phone or my watch. And when that time went off after 15 minutes, I should say to people, leave, get up and leave, get up and leave. Don't wait for me, get up and leave. And people love that sort of, that urgency, you know? So that's how we keep people accountable, and we get the results by being all over them, really, you know?
I like that. An interesting thing that I paused, you mentioned about some of the things that you're doing with your clients at the moment on the online side of the stuff, and comparing that to maybe what you're doing to the in-person. It would appear at first glance that if you're contacting them every day, you feed back to them every single day, surely that's taken up more of your time than what it would for in-person. But if one of your main goals is to have a bit more free time to do things, like, how does that work? How's that working out for you at the moment?
Yeah, it doesn't, because obviously a lot of it is automated as well now. A lot with the software we got, you know, we can get through people's accounts really quickly, especially with the success coach I've got in place now, Beth. But I was doing it before. But again, because I'm not having to plan the sessions are done. I personally work in sort of 6-week blocks. I find 6 weeks tends to be about right, you know, where sessions tend to start getting a little bit samey. So then we'll freshen it up. So I haven't got to plan each session. It's all done. If I get any feedback in the meantime, I'll change it, or I'll alter it, or tinker with it. But so everything is set up. All I have to do is just analyze what they do, and then speak to them. I set up 15-minute calls as well. People can have a call with me every day if they want one every day. And that's why I guess it becomes that accountability. They've got no excuse, because they got access to me and my team for 24/7, which is a bold claim, obviously, because I have to go to sleep. But it's literally, if they've got a question, my phone is off 24/7, unless it rings, it's off. So I say to people, if you've got a message 10 o'clock tonight, send it over. It doesn't matter. If you work nights at 2 a.m, send it over. You won't wake me up. And then I'll get back to you as soon as I wake up. Then I'll get back to you, so that they know, you know. Because again, I've had online coaches. A couple of times I've had online coaches myself to test what they do, you know. And it's a weekly check-in. And I thought, well, Friday or Sunday, but I got a question on Monday. I got a question today. I've got an issue today. You know, do I have to wait until Friday to fill a long form in to get my answer 3 days after that? You know, and I want to provide, we're not there yet, guys, we're not there yet, but I want to provide that 7-star hotel service. I know it's a bit of a fanciful claim, but literally I want to set the standard for online training where, wow, I want people to go, wow, you know.
Okay, so that's off with one final big question then. Obviously, our side of things with me and Ash is the lead gen side of things. And I know you don't run paid ads, do you?
No.
So you've mentioned referrals.
Yeah.
But how are you finding clients if you don't have a premises? Like the studio in Cardiff is, we'd go in loads of directories, we'd post a load of social media, we'd tell all our clients, we'd hand out leaflets in shops, we'd do a load of local stuff so people knew we were there. Online, you're obviously based in Swansea, but now you're living in Spain. So there's no like regular place to come and just discover you. You're not running online ads. You're doing referrals, but how are people finding you? How are people discovering your content to want to learn more and purchase from you?
I'm convinced it's like everything else. We're consistent. We are putting stuff out because that's the stuff I enjoy doing. Three times a day minimum. I'm doing lives. I've been doing live Facebook videos for I don't know how many years. I'll do 2 a day. And again, sometimes there's 500 views, 500 views. Sometimes there's 1,000. But again, if sometimes there's 150 views. But I look at it, if I'm in a room, if I hire a hall, my gym was 10 times the size, Dave, and I invite 150 people in and I spoke to them, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. But it's consistency. It's like training. It's like nutrition. It's never perfect. I'm here now. I got my vest on. I haven't got my DHP branded clothing on. I don't have to be right. I'm on a podcast with the boys now. My protein, it's not is on. But again, nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't have to be. In fact, a play on the fact we don't want perfect. Perfect is this unattainable. Well, if it's not perfect, I won't do it. 80% of everything consistently, and that's where I've got the client base is consistently turning up 3 times a day. Doing lives. I did 2 yesterday because if I'm walking, I'll do a live. I've got in my little man bag, which is there, I've got my walking selfie gimbal stick thing, and I'll do a live. Somebody asks me a question, I'll do a live on that subject, because if you're asking it, Dave, Ash is thinking it, and so are 100 others, So basically it's consistency like everything else. Now you guys don't turn up for work every 3rd Friday, do you? You're there at 8, 12, 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that's the bit that people don't see. People don't see me answer messages 9 o'clock tonight. They say, oh, sorry for you're in the sun in Spain. Yeah, it ain't quite. That's the surface. That's the surface, but underneath that there's a lot of work, man, and a lot of work. But it's consistency, absolutely consistency, and people like, again, because I'm not trying to put a show on, I'm not trying to convey a message that I have to, right, what am I supposed to be saying here? Or what does my audience think? They just get the message, and it's please or offend sometimes, but it's effortless. I don't have to dress. I don't have to mind the way I speak. I don't have to watch my language. I don't have to think, right, who am I? This is it. Something comes in my head, and that allows me to be super, super consistent, because there's no fluff, there's no frills, there's nothing. It's just content that people want to hear and need to hear sometimes. A lot of it is brutal honesty as well, which is tough.
Yeah. I think, like, to wrap it up there, you've just given the perfect example for those that maybe were thinking online is easy. It really isn't. It's just, if anything, more work goes into online coaching and finding clients than it is face to face. Yeah,
absolutely, 100%. And it can be done, of course. It can be done with the right strategy, but you've got to be, again, I keep boring anybody. I work in small blocks. My concentration levels are zip. I've got it back home. I'm going to get one out here. I got an $8.99 cube from Amazon. It's
Komodo cubes, they're called. Is that one?
The time of cubes, 15, 30, 45, and 60. I just turn the bloody thing, right? And it's $8.99. And I buy it for everybody now, right? Because genuinely, it's transformed my productivity. And I'm not even dressing this up. It's literally, if I really, I got to go and do 15 minutes of messaging. Hang on, poof, put the 15-minute timer on, and I nail it. It's just brilliant. But it's like everything else. You've got to be prepared to do the work. If you're not, it's like everything though in this. It's just life. You've got to do the work. Nobody, if you want it for free, for nothing, with ease, with comfortableness, you're in for a big shock. In life. I'm sounding like an old person now, giving old person's life advice, but you've got to work.
Huw, well, we won't leave you too long then, because obviously you want to go out and enjoy a bit of the online life today in Spain and then get back to working hard. I mean, Ash will obviously enjoy the rain in the UK. So yeah, we appreciate you coming on today. It's been it's quite an insight for people that didn't know you, to kind of learn your story and obviously see how hard it is to maybe get into online, but also how rewarding it can be to be successfully online. So yeah, appreciate you coming on today. Anybody that wants to find out a little bit more about what you do, are they okay to just find you on Facebook or something like that?
Yeah, Facebook. Huw Phillips. We're on everything. Facebook usually because that's where old people live, like myself. Old people live in Facebook rather than Instagram, but we are on TikTok and all sorts of crazy stuff. And if you should see me in a blonde wig masquerading as my alter ego Heidi, then it's all an act. Honestly, it's all an act. Well, maybe at the weekend, but no, we're just trying to make it fun, guys. Trying to make fitness fun, trying to make it sharp, quick, but get results as well, with a deadly serious result at the end of it. But it doesn't have to be boring, tedious, long, and make it interesting. And yeah, all good, guys. All good. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
No worries, Huw. Thanks for coming on, and we'll probably get you on further down the line again.
No problem at all, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Good day, yeah.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.